You may have heard the term the Great Reset being used by politicians or from other people on television or places on the internet. And you may have heard this phrase be followed up very swiftly by the allegation that it is merely a conspiracy theory and that there's nothing to see here, go about your day, citizen. But it's certainly not a conspiracy theory, at least by the definition of the terms that we use, at least in common parlance. If you look at, say, any dictionary online, like Cambridge, you can see that the definition is the activity of secretly planning with other people to do something bad or illegal. The key part of this being, of course, secret. Because if something is being done out in the open, and there is no attempt at secrecy, and we can define what is either bad or illegal about what's being discussed elsewhere. But if something isn't being done secretly, it's not a conspiracy, it's just a plan. It's just an agenda. It's just something that people are doing. And I don't know how much more publicly something needs to be done than the Great Reset to be not a conspiracy. For example, this is a clip from just the royal family's YouTube channel.
We have an incredible opportunity to create entirely new sustainable industries, investing in nature as the true engine of our economy.
The current global crisis has disrupted every aspect of our lives, but it has also presented us with an extraordinary opportunity, a chance to reset and accelerate efforts to improve the state of our world.
We need nothing short of a paradigm shift, one that inspires action at revolutionary levels and pace. We simply cannot waste any more time.
Action at revolutionary levels and pace, coming from Prince Charles, the heir to the throne of the United Kingdom. That's the last person on Earth, practically, beyond... the second to last person. Presumably the Queen is the last person on Earth who wants a revolution, her son and direct heir being the second to last. But that's irresponsible rhetoric if ever I heard it, because anyone even vaguely familiar with revolutions and the pace of revolutions throughout... since the 18th century onwards, would probably guard against the idea of these kind of ideological revolutions where a group of people with enough energy and power have found themselves with the idea that, if we just have a revolution, everything will be fine, because revolutions never end up particularly well. But again, this is just this is a video called The Great Reset on the royal family's YouTube channel, which, as I was recording this, had 666 subscribers, which is a weird coincidence, isn't it? But this is not an agenda that is being in any way kept secret, and it seems to be being driven by the World Economic Forum. And this clip now is called The Great Reset highlights reel from a big live streamed event that they did, and they've taken a bunch of clips, and I've taken some clips out of the highlight reel. Let's watch that.
Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system.
We have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path.
Now is the time to think what history would say about this crisis. And now is the time for all of us to define our own role. What is it that would make it so that history would look at this crisis as the great opportunity for reset?
The Great Reset is a welcome recognition that this human tragedy must be a wake-up call. It is imperative that we reimagine, rebuild, redesign, reinvigorate, and rebalance our world.
The world's problems fit on three sides of a triangle. It's one versus many, man versus nature, and the unfortunate foundation is long-term versus short-term.
We had already income inequality that was fueling income, race, gender inequality. We have a climate emergency, which we can't walk away from. There's no doubt that the very survival of the human race requires us to act.
Right, this is extreme. To position your framing as the very future of mankind is in doubt and the extinction of the human race presumably will ensue if we don't act, and then to lay out what is essentially the blueprint of the socialist revolutions for the past 200 years as the concern and the goal. That there is a crisis of capitalism, as Marx predicted that there would be, and this means that we have to engage in some kind of revolution for a great reset, a mass levelling, and to the end of solving inequality, and as well as COVID-19 and the climate crisis that we are constantly told about. So it really isn't too extreme to say that it at least has shades of the previous communist revolutions of the 20th and 19th centuries. But what my favourite part of all of this is the way that Justin Trudeau is so firmly on board of it. Here he is broadcasting from 2006.
This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change. Building back better means getting support to the most vulnerable while maintaining our momentum on reaching the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the SDGs.
Okay, that was a joke. It wasn't really from 2006. It just looked like it was. But that's the phrase. That's the catchphrase that they're using. Build back better. And you can see this on Joe Biden's website, buildbackbetter.com, where he lists the priorities that they have. This seems to just be the slogan of what I think we can reasonably call the globalist agenda, which appears to be based on a vast resetting of the very priorities of what our economies and societies are going to be focused around. And moreover, as you probably remember from their You'll Be Happy and You'll Own Nothing video that was taken down from Twitter, this is going to be directed from the top by people I think we can reasonably call big business, governments. Broadly, we could use the umbrella term of maybe technocrats who think that they can plan society and the economy and hand it down to us and make us happy. This is something I don't agree with and I don't believe is true, but what I would worry about is looking out for that Build Back Better slogan, because you never know where it's going to come up and you never know who's going to be behind the agenda. Do you, Boris?